The Nordic countries are famous for many things. Our Viking heritage, a strange enthusiasm for the Eurovision Song Contest, and not least for acting responsibly when it comes to the environment. We can be especially proud of the latter. So let's take a tour through the Nordics and take a look at how sustainable we really are. All in all, we actually know a lot about sustainability. For instance, 78% of the Danes are fully aware that the more waste we produce, the bigger the strain on the environment. 9 out of 10 Swedes can pinpoint the top 3 ways to save electricity. And the majority of Finns know that home heating by district solar or geothermal heating are the most environmentally friendly options. On the other hand, we are not very knowledgeable when it comes to car exhaust fuels. And just a third of Norwegians, which is still more than in any other Nordic country, know that especially diesel cars emit harmful particles. But one thing is knowledge, another is action. A whopping 67% of all Swedes try to think in the environment in their daily lives. The same just goes for about half the Norwegians, who instead live in the Nordic country where most prefer to buy organic. And then there are the Danes who excel when it comes to saving water. In fact, in Denmark, 7 out of 10 have at least a single water-saving device installed. But what about a thing like waste sorting? Well, once again, this is the Swedes and Norwegians' domain. In Sweden and Norway, waste sorting is simply seen as a civic duty, which isn't the case in Denmark and Finland just yet. And that is actually a bit paradoxical, as these are the two countries where most agree that our own actions can make a difference on the climate. Agreement, however, is hard to reach when it comes to the role of our politicians. Danes and Swedes consider our elected officials to have a big responsibility for legislating us out of the climate challenges. Whereas Norwegians, and especially Finns, feel that politicians can only set the direction and that the rest is up to the people and companies. The last insight is that only a very small portion of us know the term responsible or sustainable investments. Which is interesting since roughly half of the current and future Nordic investors actually focus on investing in sustainable companies and increasingly believe that this type of business is better equipped to generate profits over time. In other words, although the knowledge of the concept of responsible or sustainable investments is low, there are actually a lot of investors who have already included the basic idea behind it in their portfolio, presumably because they see it as a win-win situation. For themselves, for the sustainable companies, and not least for the world we leave behind for our children and grandchildren. Is your money invested in a sustainable future?